What's up, you guys? It's Novice and I'm back with another video. So my hope is that this video is short. If it's not, I am sorry. But essentially what we're going to be going over today is ASRAP roasting. I know we talked about it previously in another video, so I'm going to do a quick overview, and today's video we're actually going to do a demonstration of how ASRAP roasting can be accomplished in a Windows environment. So quick overview. ASRAP roasting is essentially taking advantage of a specific part of the Kerberos authentication process. Now, as I talked about it before, when authenticating with Kerberos, you essentially have the authentication server as well as the ticket granting server. So ASRAP roasting only deals with the authentication server. So when you first request a ticket granting ticket from the authentication server, you send something in called an authentication request. And then from there, after validating who you are, it sends back a ticket called the TGT. Now for this attack, that way of doing things is kind of skewed. So for an ASRAP roasting attack to actually be able to go through, there's a specific condition that must be met. This account must have pre-authentication disabled. Now that essentially stops the ASRAP roasting part, or the ASRAP part. So when you send in that ASRAP request, it usually requires that you have a password attached to it. But if pre-authentication isn't enabled, essentially the system trusts anybody who presents them with a username that is a part of the domain. And then what you get back is that TGT, which does contain that user's hash information. Now once you have that user's hash information, you can pretty much take it offline and crack it in whatever means you need to, and then from there you have their password to do whatever it is you want to do with it. So I know it was a quick little breakdown, but let's go ahead and try to crack this password, or to show you how ASRAP roasting works. So let's just get right into it. Okay. So on my screen now, you see two different machines. One is actually the Active Directory domain controller, and the second is the attacking computer. So with the domain controller, there's not too much that we need from here, but we will get some information from here. So with this, let me go to the command line. Essentially, all we need when running this attack is to know the IP address and the name of the domain that the domain controller is controlling. So let's see, let's do ipconfig/all. Like I said, all we're really looking for is that IP address, but here you can also see the domain as well. So let's see. Okay, so this is the IP address for the domain controller. Now essentially what you want to do using your attacker machine is use a tool called Impacket. Now what Impacket does is that it goes through and it kind of searches for any user that has this pre-authentication disabled. Once they have a user with the pre-authentication disabled, it goes ahead and sends that ASRAP request with just the username, and then you get returned the TGT. Now for this specific example, I have disabled pre-authentication for one specific user. So let me actually pull up my user list that we're going to use in this Impacket command, and then from there we'll run it and you'll see how this works. So let me see, I believe I called it, users.txt. So here we have Alice, Bob, Catherine, David, Eva, Frank, Grace, Hannah, Ian, and Jasmine. So I just want to quickly show you the list. This is the list of users that we use when we were creating our Active Directory environment. We're trying to automate the creation of it. So we just grab that list of users. For this attack to work, you must have some semblance of knowledge on who the users are or who they could be, because this next part depends entirely on if you are able to accurately guess the right password, along with the fact that the pre-authentication is disabled. So let's go ahead and exit out of here. So we're going to try Impacket dash, I believe it's get np users. Yep. And then from here we're gonna attach the user file that we just opened up, which is users.txt. From there we can add this request button. So this request flag, actually just make sure to send in an ASRap request so that we can then get the reply, which gives us our answer. And then we finally have to add the IP address of the domain controller. So that is 10.0.0.58. And then finally we add the domain itself, which is my first domain. If I could spell, life would be such a breeze. And then from here we see what happens. So in our output, we're essentially able to grab everything that we need. So looking at this, I do want to go through some of the replies. So here, as you can see, if you do not have the pre-authentication set or disabled, you get this error. That means that you cannot obtain the information for the hashes. However, if there's a single user that has that pre-authentication disabled, you see what we got here for Alice. This is what you'll see as well for this is also what you'll see when pre-authentication is actually disabled. And from there we have the hash, and then if we want to, which we are going to, we can go through and then try to run this with hashcat, use the rockyou.txt to actually get the actual hash. So let me see, hashcat. Actually, before I do that, let me open this up to see what type of hash this is, so that I can actually properly number it. So, or get the proper mode for it. So hashcat, hash types. Okay, so we'll bring it here. Now we're looking for something that said ASRap roasting or ASRap 5, or let me actually go back and see it. Curb 5 ASRap 23. Okay, so let's actually look for that then. So we are going to be using 18200 as the mode, if I'm not wrong. Cool. So let's do that, or let's minimize this instead. Alright, hey guys, I want to give you a quick update before this next cut. So essentially I was doing some testing with hashcat to see if I could just use the hash in the actual command instead of using the user file. It did not go well, so I'm just cutting out the parts where I was testing so that you guys can go ahead and move through this fast. So this upcoming part is me just putting the hash into a text file and then using that text file to actually generate the password from the hash. Wait, let me try to store this in a file instead. Like I said, this should not be difficult, so let's do this. Cat hash 18200.10. Oh, my bad, I'm at nano instead of cat. Now we're gonna I'm gonna write that out. Yes. And now we're gonna do this again. As you guys can see, I tried to do this a different way. Okay, let's see how long it takes to get this. I'm almost certain it is in here, but let's see. Oh, okay, I couldn't see. So it did actually crack the password. I just couldn't see it earlier because my screen was minimized. So this is actually the password for the user account. I was about to go through other methods to show you, but as you can see, this has worked properly. So that is essentially it for ASRap roasting. As you can see, it's a lot easier because there are already tools pre-built to do this. So here we have our answer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Now, like I was saying, that's essentially it for this video. I just wanted to show a quick demonstration of how ASRap roasting works. With a lot of these attacks, it seems like it's going to be hard or complicated, but nowadays there are tools that have made it easier and makes it a lot more likely to accomplish. So with this, ASRap roasting was accomplished. We grabbed the hash, and then from there we were able to crack the hash offline, and now we have the password that we can use for a certain user. So that's it for today's video. My hope is that in the next upcoming videos we can do two things: teach how to defend against ASRap roasting, and the second is to actually build out a tool close to that in-packet tool that not only detects users that have pre-authentication disabled, but can also then grab that hash after the fact. Because if I'm able to do that, I'll be able to understand the process of ASRap roasting to a much deeper level, and that's really something that I want to do. Now that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. You know, I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to get better. So if you dislike the video, let me know why so I can get better. And then finally, if you rock with what I'm doing, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can see more things out of me in the future. So that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Novice out. Peace.